So today we're going to take a look at doing some ballast bypasses. So I have these ballasts in my shop, and you can see this one's gone bad. They're not super efficient. You can't use LEDs in them exactly without doing the bypasses, and the bypasses just makes them efficient. And these ones are going on me. I had one burn up in my garage. I'll put an info card on the video of that where we fixed it with a tombstone connector, but then I ended up just replacing all of them with the ballast bypass, and it's a much better, more efficient system. So we'll look at doing that today. We'll also look at replacing these other lights I have in my shop, but these ones are much easier because they are these hanging ballast lights and they just plug in. So we're just going to switch those out in its entirety, kind of look at our setup of what we got. I just got these shop lights. They go on and off with a chain, but they'll plug into those outlets. The outlets I have are on switches, so works out really easy. And then these are the type of lights that you get when you're doing the ballast bypass. They say ballast bypass right on them, so that's what you get. It's very easy to do. You need some wire nuts, and you're going to clip some wires. I'll show you how to do that, and then you can put in these LEDs, and they're, like I said, much more efficient. They're just all around better. So we're gonna replace them. So our first step is, since we're going to be taking these off, we're going to be creating a lot of dust, potential of breaking things or whatnot. You got to check what's underneath your light. So we have a Rabbit over here and a 67 Impala over there. So I'm gonna, clear out some space to work before we do anything else. All right, so we got garage cleared out. So we've got a workspace. Just taking a look at the tools. To do these ballast bypass, you don't really need much. Wire nuts are gonna be your most important thing. I've got a couple different sizes here, so I don't know how these lights are really chained together, so I might need some bigger ones. Electrical tester, right? We're of course going to shut off power, but always make sure you're safe. And then just a wire stripper, and this will of course cut wires as well. Speaking of cutting, we also have just a utility knife here. I like to have this here, but really the all-star on this utility knife is that there. It's a little pry bar. This also flips, and there's a Phillips there as well. Beyond that, we've got a ladder, we've got a doggy, and we're gonna come over and find our breaker. So lights are on. I think it's this one. No, this one. Lights are off. So let's get up there. All right, so get up here. I also like to have a table that's handy. You see this one's already kind of coming apart, so I'm gonna take this out here. Get that down out of my way. All right, and we're gonna take out the LEDs. These aren't LEDs, we're trying to get LEDs. And these will just kind of unscrew here. There we go. All right, so now in the middle, we've got this, and this is just kind of pinched in. So we'll kind of pinch it from here. We'll get all that wiring exposed. Kind of stuck on this side here. Oh, weirdly, there's a screw there. I wonder if they all have screws. Oh. Take that out. All right, so now we can see the wires. So here is our ballast here, and the way that these work is they get power from one side. So these red and blue wires, right? You got the blues coming from one tombstone, the red coming from the other. They go to the ballast, and then these white and yellow are just completing the circuit. We're going to take our tester, and we're going to make sure that we got nothing hot anywhere, okay? So what we'll do now is we're gonna cut the wires from the ballast on either side. So I'm just gonna go ahead, grab these guys, I'll cut those. these guys. I'll cut those. And now the ballast is gonna be free. So these are my wires that are coming in from the ceiling, right? I've got the black and the white, and then I've got the ballast here. I've got these red wires here, red and blue wires here, and the yellow wires here. All I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna basically take my black, and I'm gonna just put all of these wires to that black. I'm gonna take my white, I'm gonna put all of these wires to my yellow here, and then the ballast at this point is not needed. So this one is held on by a bolt, of all things. Usually held on by a screw. So I might need to get one more tool to take that off. I'll do that in a minute. I'll kind of talk you through the rest of the procedure here. So I'm going to get these wires. I'm going to strip off, you know, a fair amount, ½ inch or so, right? Just of anything that I'm going to be tying. So pretty much all these guys over here. Okay. Then I'll get a wire nut. So this is going to go to the black, right? Okay, and I'm just going to get all these guys together. If for some reason it doesn't reach, right, and I've ran into that before, just, you know, you guys got to add some wire in. But we're going to get those and make sure that they engage and they all get in there. There's quite a few of these, so I might end up needing a blue one, and I've got some blue ones as well. Sometimes giving them a little pre-twist will help. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to come in, I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. I've got less wires over here to do that. So I get my white. I got these yellows. Get another nut. And then same thing, I'm going to get these guys going together. Put this one on here. Always make sure to give your wires a little tug. So I felt like when that was coming in, it wasn't going in enough there. You want that circuit nice and completed. That's shutting off. There we go. All right, so that's it. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab, you know, just a nut driver so I can take that ballast off, then we'll put this back together. Then I have to do this another 8 times, but you don't have to watch all that. All right, so get this little guy here. It's like 11, 20 seconds or something. And then that is the ballast. So this you don't need anymore. What we'll do now is we'll put this guy back in, you know, cover all our wiring. And then I will actually, before I do the rest of them, I will go ahead and get my ballast bypass lights, and I'll go ahead and put those in before I do anything else. And that's kind of like, almost like, think of it like a proof of concept, right? You want to make sure that you did it right and it's gonna, you know, work before you go out and you do all of them. So there, it's put together, the bypass is done. Let's put some bulbs back in it and turn the power on. All right, so we got our lights here. Good. So let there be light. One thing to point out too that I forgot to mention, when you're putting these in, your LEDs, they're gonna be marked with like an L up here and an N down here. The L goes to wherever the live wires were. So your larger wire bundle, those red and blues. So just make sure you're putting them in that way. And then, you know, from there, you just put your cover, you know, back on, and you're done. I'm a big fan of assembly line, so I just got, you know, all of the covers and lights and metal covers off. You can see a lot of them are really dirty, so I'm just gonna, before I put them back up, I'll shop back all the bugs and all that stuff off. All right, so I got everything wired in, all the lights in. We're gonna throw the switch and we want everything to light up. Hey-o! So, yeah, so that's it. All wired up there. Again, removing the ballast really, you know, makes everything more efficient. The LEDs don't need much more power, and you can't really run the LEDs in the ballast. They're not indicated for that. So yeah, so here we go. Ballast bypass.